Hello, my fellow Alaskans. How are we all doing out here today on this bright and beautiful, very, very, very chilly day? It is getting a bit nippy outside, I tell you. I had negative 22 degrees this morning out in my house. I don't know about you, but it was definitely put on my heaviest winter coat, hat, and gloves and go on outside and pray I didn't freeze like a popsicle the moment I walked out my door. But this is Alaska. We are here once again at the Alaska School of Government, and I am glad you guys are all here with us today. We are going to hear from today Carmen on how to navigate the legislature's website, how to give testimony when you do call in, or ways that you can be able to write our legislators on all different bills or all of them at the same time, and much, much more going to be happening here today. Please take a moment right now to like, share, and make sure to click that bell to get notified every time we go live. It's videos like this one that you don't want to miss, because mainstream media, I guarantee you, will never cover something like this. But that's what I'm here for. Give it to you uncut and unfiltered. You can find this right now on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all at Politadick. And you can also find it on Facebook at Politadick Unfiltered. If you're one of those that likes to watch them on a website currently at this moment, you can go to Politadick.gov and click on Politadick Live. It should be on our home page right now. The minute it loads up, it should be playing for you if you want to watch it there on our website. And while you're at our website, please go to our support page. All donations go right back into being able to make sure we can afford the ever-increasing gas prices out there that we're all very familiar with now, and the ever-costing cost of inflation to be able to do things, and make sure that I can be able to make it to more events like this one tomorrow night starting at 6 o'clock. It sounds like I'm going to be sitting at the Palmer Community Council meeting. Seems they got a couple of different issues going on. One is what's going on in our school libraries and the books that can be found in our public libraries there. Let me tell you, if porn is what you like to watch and you're one of those that likes to read it, well, I guess the Palmer Library now has it available for our children to check out anytime that they want. When did things go downhill, let me tell you. But I'll be there tomorrow night to cover it all live and uncut and unfiltered for you, because we all know how it goes with the mainstream media that works at the Palmer City Council when it comes to live streaming events like that. They miraculously all of a sudden have technical difficulties with their video recording equipment, and the all recording of it completely gets cut off to where nobody gets to hear or see what is being said within the room. And then miraculously, once the controversy is over with, their equipment somehow gets back up to working again. But that's why I'm going to be there tomorrow for you guys, unfiltered and uncut. I'm going to go ahead and get this off of the screen now so that you guys don't have to sit there and look at that anymore. Let me give you a full view of what's going on here in the room. Give me just a second to get that off. There we go. Now you should be able to get a full view of everything that is on the screen right now. Thank you so much. And again, don't forget, like and share this video if you're watching right now on one of your favorite platforms. Within the next 6 hours or so, you'll be finding this over on Rumble at rumble.com at Politadick. If you're not a subscriber to Rumble, please become a subscriber. If nothing else, just long enough to follow our page. Once we reach 100 subscribers over there at Rumble, we will directly live stream to them. I believe I may have already achieved, or we have achieved that mark. I haven't looked at it here in a little while, but when I did play with it, I think it was about a day ago, it was actually gave me the option to start live streaming and to set up the program for it, and to be able to get that stream key needed to be able to live stream directly to there, just as I'm doing right now on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Also our website, all at Politadick. please, if you're not a subscriber to all of them, please go and subscribe. Help us continue to grow our platform so that we don't get censored and uncut. You'll be able to find us everywhere, and it's you guys that make that possible. Again, we're here tonight at the Alaska School of Government at Real Life Church in Palmer, Alaska. The show is just about ready to begin. It shouldn't be much longer right now. You can see Carmen sitting up front here. She is getting ready to be able to go herself, and as soon as Edna gets things rolling in the background, I'm sure we'll be able to hear what's going on. And the topic tonight is going to be navigating the AKLeg.gov. That is AKLeg.gov website, and this is how to be able to find out everything that's going on down there in Juneau. They may be able to keep us out of Juneau because of the cost of being able to just try to get there to be in front of them, but today we're going to help give you the ways to be able to navigate the website, to look up all of the bills that's going on down there in Juneau, ways that you can get yourself notified, be able to get text messages every time something changes with the bill. You'll be able to get notification on that. And I'm sure there'll be lots of different ways to be able to show you how to navigate that website. It can seem very confusing at times, but once you understand how it operates, it is one of the simplest things in the world to use, and to be able to find out all the information about everything that may be desired within your realm of the political environment going on down there in Juneau. Be able to get text messages when the next notifications for when to testify can also happen very easily by signing up at the Legislators website for being able to get those kind of messages. And I will pop that up here on the screen for you in just a second so that you can see what number you should be texting. And you'll get all the latest and greatest information from them every time you do. And let me flip my phone here, makes it easier for everybody to see. But if you're ever interested in getting text messages, text this phone number. It is 1-559-245-2529. That is 1-559-245-2529. Text that number and then type in a bill you want to see. Let's say you want to hear something about, say, SB 52 and the base student allocation bill that is rolling through the Senate right now, and you want to get all the information. Well, all you need to do after you type in that phone number I just put up on the screen there is type in SB 52 and hit send. Within minutes, you'll receive notification from the AKLeg website that you have now been signed up to receive all notifications on where the status of that bill number is currently at in the current legislative session. And if that bill number continues on through several different legislative sessions, well, then you'll continue to keep getting them until that bill moves on to either a different bill number, or they pass it, or it just completely gets buried in the backlog and never to be seen the light of day again, which is what they always seem to do with the good bills, the ones that should be working their way through, and the ones that just have absolutely nothing but make things harder on us to survive. Those seems to be always the ones that they push forward, like SB 52, the BSA formula for education, rolling through the Alaska Education Committee at this point in time. If you haven't sent them an email about that, please do. Let them know at the Alaska Senate Education Committee that we do not support the increase of anything to do with funding for the schools, the base student allocation. They are not accountable for the money they get right now. Why should we be giving them more? We have the worst statistics in the United States. We are ranked 50 in the nation for providing an education, and that's not 50 as in we are number one. That is 50 as we are dead last in the nation for providing an education, and we do it at nearly double to triple the cost of anywhere else. You can go to my Facebook page right now and you'll find a couple of posts back on it at the moment. There's a video that I posted, the libs will get triggered, and it's all about showing a high school and middle school combined has over 5,400 students going to this school. It looks like you're walking into an Ivy League college, and they're getting one of the highest rankings in the nation for this particular school, and if compared to anywhere else in the nation at the moment for the United States. And guess what? They're doing it for about $9,000 per student. So there's nothing out there that says money is equivalent to the type of education you get. It all boils down to what kind of an education are you actually providing your kids, our kids, is the reason why they either rank really high or they rank really low. I was going through the different websites for education earlier today, just snapping some pictures of where they stand at for providing an education, especially in Anchorage, since they're the biggest whiners and criers going on in Juneau right now, spending hundreds of thousands, I mean literally hundreds of thousands of dollars right now, flying into Juneau. The 53 districts that we have in Alaska, school board members, teachers, they're all just flying in, bringing students from all around the state, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, with the last nearly month now of lobbying they have been doing down there in Juneau, it would not surprise me to find out that they've spent somewhere close to around $500,000 of our money. Yes, you heard that right, our money, our taxpayers' money, the money that we contribute in, both on a state, a federal, and a local level. Whether you like it or not, every tax in Alaska, no matter where it goes to, unless it belongs to the city you live in, goes directly into the general fund and gets spent any way they want down in Juneau. If they get their way right now, we will be looking at $750 million. That is $750 million increase to our budget if they pass just 3 of the bills they have on the floors right now in both the House and in the Senate. And that number could jump as high as $1 billion, depending on which version you look at from the House or the Senate. Each one either increases or decreases just slightly, differences from each other for the bills that they're putting forward. But let me tell you, they nearly do want to just completely steal everything that belongs to us. The one person, the people that they're hurting the most here in Alaska is the children. They know it. They don't care how much money they have to steal out of their pockets, how many more they got to keep kept into poverty because of their theft. They're more than happy to continue to keep taking the funds that belongs to Alaskans, our rightful rights to our fair share of the resources that belong to all Alaskans, and they think they can spend it better than us. They don't care how many of us they keep shoved into poverty by doing what they do. 36% of Alaskans are living in poverty right now, but does that make them upset? No, the cry goes out, we must do more. We must come up with more money. We must provide more for them. We must take more from you to give to them. It's amazing. I went to 2 different legislative constituent meetings over the weekend. 2 different legislators that was having them. Got to hear from a Democrat and a Republican. Let me tell you, I took my hat off before I went into the Democrats one because when you come walking in and you get the impression half the people in there are wearing those little pink pussycat hats. You know the ones that I'm talking about. Well, when you get that impression, that's what's in the room. My kind of hat just doesn't work. If you know my Make Alaska Great Again hat, I just wouldn't quite fit in. So I took it off, so at least I kind of had a little bit of camouflage there. And I just sat back. This is one of those that I just sat back and listened to what their concerns were. And it was ironic that one of the questions that was brought up about the rural communities was their survival depends upon government spending. The less government spends in these rural communities, the more these rural communities are packing themselves up and moving to more populated places. They're shrinking. Why is that? If they're so dependent, as they say, on subsistence living for their lifestyle, why are they packing up and leaving if government shrinks their spending? They should be happy about that. Well, it looks like Edna's about ready to get started here, so I am going to switch microphones. Again, if you haven't done it yet, please like, share, click that bell to be notified. Make sure Alaskans get to hear what's going on within our state, uncut and unfiltered. Today, AKLeg.gov. website being broken down, how to testify, and different ways to make sure you can get information about the latest and greatest bills and where they're moving to next and when to testify, all on your cell phone without having to do nothing but texting a bill number. We'll see you guys all here a little later. The show's about to begin.
You spray your hairspray on your pants. Yeah. Static clean.
That's what she was telling me. That's how we got
That's how women do that all the time.
See, it's for women. It's not for men.
Anyway, yes, sir. I'm sure you had something serious to before this conversation went this way.
Okay. We have those bills on life issues.
Okay.
And you damn women.
Okay, you do want to be on the
You're more worried about other people than yourself.
Do you mind me talking about the Eastern Censure at all?
Yeah, that's right. And the commandment is.
It's a little spicy. I mean, when you get into the details, it's a whole lot. It shouldn't be this way.
That's right. I'm going to tell that to my church.
The Republicans voted with the abortion laws to protect the abortion laws.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Is that what?
You know, I started reading that. I've never finished it yet.
There's all kinds of
I mean, I have that.
hell is
Every one of them except himself. They said you're I like David Clement. He's not
repentance.
I'm hoping that this revival we're seeing on the East Coast is coming through.
Oh yeah. For everything. Let's go to. Yeah,
Now you're going to make me want to go home and dig it out and read it.
yeah, we'll just watch your YouTube.
Oh, it's on the YouTube.
Oh, it's
Okay.
just full. It's really art.
Alrighty, folks, I am working on, I'm not too sure what the holdup here is going on with the show, but it should be starting here real soon. Bear with us. I thought Edna was ready to go there for a second. She was standing up front with the microphone, then she walked on in back. If you haven't liked and shared, please do that right now. Hopefully you're watching it on one of your favorite channels. You can find this on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, all at Politadick, and our website at Politadick.gov. It is live at Politadick Live, and you can find this on Rumble within the next 6 hours. And if you haven't signed up there, please do and subscribe to us. Looks like she's about ready to go.
it supposed to? Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, if you'll all stand, please. So thank you all for coming tonight. My husband will give us a prayer, and then our good friend Charlie will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Lord, that you have given us a constitutional republic, Lord, and so help us keep it, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
You give it to Charlie there. He'll read the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. I know there are a number of you that do have announcements that you would like to make. Is there anyone that wants to make an announcement that wouldn't be here at the end of the program? Because I don't want to, I think everybody, okay. So anyway, we are very blessed tonight to have Carmen here to present information to us to how to keep track of everybody's in Juneau. I don't know, maybe she hasn't even accomplished that, but to keep track of the bills in Juneau, maybe that would be easier than the people, and as well as some other things. So Carol, go ahead and take it away. Carol has been active, let's see, you're a retired teacher from Anchorage, correct? And then they moved to the valley. They live over off of Palmer Fishhook and further up, the Richmond subdivision, almost up across from New Hope in that area. And you've been the Republican district chair there for,
I think, about 6 years.
6 years. So very active in what's going on and that kind of thing. So take it away, lady.
Probably, when I was 29, I probably prayed the most important prayer of my life. Raise your hand if you were raised in a Christian home. Do you know how much I envy you? I was not. But when I was 29, my life circumstance caused me to pray, God, if you're real, please reveal yourself to me. I didn't know it'd take him a whole year to answer that prayer, but a year later, I was flipping through a newspaper and saw an ad for a man I'd never heard of. And to tell you how disconnected I was, his name was Billy Graham, and he came to Alaska in 1984. And I went to his crusade. When I went to his crusade, when I was reading that newspaper, this is what happened to me. God was drawing me to him. And I knew it, because I knew when I read that ad that if I went there, I would find God. And I knew also that it was the answer to the prayer I had prayed a year before. So I went, and this is what I discovered when I went there. And Billy Graham illustrated it very plainly. He used what they call a bridge illustration, where you are on one side, your sin is in the middle, which is a deep cavern, and God is on the other. And I'll stop there because this could turn into quite a sermon. But anyway, this is probably the most well-known verse, but the whole gospel is in one verse right here. But here, I'm here to talk to you about political research. And I think political research begins right here. Now, this country has a serious problem with not doing this, I believe. The legislative website, AKLeg.gov. I'm going to click on this first link, and it'll go directly to the home page. And you can see that there are different tabs. You can see what's happening on any given day. I usually click on both.
Okay, just put your passing. Isn't it supposed to change up there, Carol?
Did it not change? Oh, yes, it was.
So, try that again, please, so people can solve.
Well, I'm clicking on it, but I don't know why it's doing that.
have a solution back there. You can't present and show that you have staff with.
Let me do this. Is that better? No. Looks like I have to end the show and then go here. Okay, so this is the home page, and what I would encourage you to do is make friends with this website. Check out each one of these tabs on the side, and each tab on the side has got many links on the inside you can look at. Floor calendar. You can look at this, just the House, just the Senate. I like to look at both and see what's happening on any given day. It tells bills, and if you click on the bill, it's a link, and you can go there and read the bill. And each day you can see the schedule. You can see upcoming meetings. Is there anything live right now? If there is, they'll list it here, and you can usually click on it and watch a video, especially of different meetings. I like to go and watch the different meetings. They're very informative. If you want to investigate the people, there's the Senate. Here's all the senators. They're in alpha order, but if you want to look at them by party, you can click party, by city, or by district. And then, of course, here are the House members. There's 40 of those, only 20 senators, but 40 of these. And again, alpha order, by party, by city, by district. And if you click on any one of them, I'm going to pick on Kathy Tilton for just a minute here. You can go to their page. Here's their official email. You're more likely to get an email response if you go to their official email. It tells her district, of course. When she's in session, this is their mailing address and phone number. Interim contact, to me, that looks like the LIO in Wasilla, Legislative Information Office, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. So you can look up at any one of the ones, I'll click on House again and go back. You can click on anybody you want to get in touch with them. I have found the LIO, I didn't like that, and I'll show you other ways to contact them as well when you're not in session, because the LIO I don't think is as reliable as some of the other ways. Okay, bills and laws. See if I can make it a little bigger. If I scroll down here, these two are the ones I like the most. Sponsor summary, if I click on that, I have them in alpha order, and it tells how many bills they've either sponsored or co-sponsored.
So somebody have a particular bill you'd like her to pull up so everybody could see who's, huh?
SB 43.
SB 43.
Okay, let me go back. Because underneath sponsor summary is subject summary. And you said SB 43? SB 43 is up, right up here where the magnifying glass is. And you just hit your return button, it'll go there. And I like this page the best because it tells me where the bill is. They read it at least 3 times before it goes to the floor and they vote on it. It was referred to education. Looks like it may be in education.
Would you pull up the full text of the bill? Does everybody
Sure.
see? Yeah, that's. So
You can
yeah, go ahead.
do it this way to look at it and read it, or you can download a PDF form. Sometimes when I do it this way, it's too big and it cuts it off. And I hold down my command key and either a plus or a minus if I want to make it bigger or smaller. But going back to the main page, if you want to see how many bills are on a given topic, I like to look them up in alpha order. And you can click on any, give me one.
Somebody have another bill?
31.
SB or HB? SB. And this is the one Senator Schauer has been talking about. And it's about how we get judges. He's actually talked quite a bit about it. And it looks like it's in State Affairs. And if you click on these little numbers here, this is short, but I want to try. Let me try that again. Because was read the first time we referred to State Affairs and Judiciary committees. That's only 2 committees, that's not so bad. If they refer to, it depends actually who's the chair of the committees, because the chairs decide what's going to be heard and what isn't going to be heard, and they could just let it sit there forever if they don't want to hear it.
Bottom drawer.
I'm sorry, bottom drawer?
In the bottom drawer.
Yeah. This one, I keep hoping they'll talk about it, is there's a petition going around in here for you to sign to get rid of ranked choice voting, and this is House Bill number 1. George Rauscher introduced it, and there's looks like 3 co-sponsors right now, and that's to also get rid of ranked choice voting. What I like about these numbers, let me go clear down here, I didn't do anything, is there's usually a long list of things that, the actions they've taken, and you can click on different things in there and see how people voted, like in committees, who voted for it, who voted against it, and they'll come out during campaign season and say, oh, well, I voted for this or against that or whatever, but go look it up for yourself. If you know the bill, go look it up for yourself, because it'll show you in committee who voted for and who voted against these bills.
What are the numbers?
What are the numbers?
A whole bunch of them. What is each number?
It's like a page number in the journal. And you'll go to that page. Wish I had a better example here.
SB 52.
Yeah, what's a bill that's had some action?
Has it? Has it been voted for on the floor? It's referred to education. So it's in education, and it's just sitting there.
What's the one on defined benefits? I know that's
HB 22.
HB 22.
Yes.
Oh, that's had quite a bit of action. So this is journal page, and that's what you click on. House Finance. Do not pass, do pass. No recommendation.
So where do you find the meaning of the abbreviations like NR for no record?
No,
Is there a list of them somewhere, or you just have to learn it?
it may be in here. I've learned them, so. But it's in here, in our no recommendation. Here it is, right here. Do not pass, McKay and McCabe. Do pass. Himshoot, Mears, and McCormick.
So that's interesting, because when I was in Juneau about a month ago, Ruffridge voted for the bill to go out of the first committee, and so there he has no recommendation. So he's wavering on that bill. That's interesting.
Here we go.
He's one of the new people from Keon, right? Ruffridge, yeah. He replaced Ron Gillen.
No, that's not good. They should have kept Ron.
I know, but they didn't.
So he's in favor.
Well, no recommendation, that means.
He doesn't
that-
recommend passing it or not passing it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they like to sit on a fence because they don't want to get in trouble. Sooner or later, they have to get off that fence. And they're gonna get in trouble with somebody. Because you're gonna be on one side or the other. Oftentimes, it will have yays and nays, and you'll be able to see who voted for it, who voted against it, whatever the bill is.
Well, they do have do pass and do not pass.
Right, that's their recommendation. That's not an actual vote.
Yeah, because it hasn't gone to the floor.
Right, well, even in committees, you can sometimes see. All right, bills and, because it will say, that's why I was trying to find an example.
If somebody can make an objection in committee, so that they have to take a voice vote in committee, so that you would have yays and nays. If there's nobody raises an objection, it passes out of committee with or without recommendations. So that's the kind of difference.
So there was, on that House Bill 22, when I was there, like I said, a month ago, there was an amendment that McKay did. And that there was a yes and no vote on that amendment.
That's just the amendment, yes.
Yeah, that's just the amendment. And does that show up there?
It should. What is this? I don't see any votes.
Yeah. But there was an amendment that McCabe and McCabe voted for, and everybody else voted against the amendment.
Here's a tab for amendments. So it should be down here. I don't see anything. And you can go over to documents and see what kind of supporting documents they have for the bills. This is very interesting. Sometimes they'll put people's testimonies in here. I've seen testimonies. Section analysis, sponsor presentation. When they have a bill, the sponsor of the bill is supposed to do a section analysis of some kind, telling the other people or the other legislators the good points and the bad points of the bill so that they have more information. And they're supposed to research the bill. Here's some letters of support.
Where is isn't there a sponsor summary also, Jelly, on the bill? Where's that at?
There's a couple of them on that page right there. There's a sponsor statement almost at the bottom.
Right here, sponsor statement right here.
And there's also a sponsor presentation in PowerPoint. It's at the top of the screen now.
Okay.
So go back down to the middle, just with your mouse. There you go, you're on it.
Sponsor presentation, it's the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sectional analysis, PDF. Another sponsor statement that's a PDF. Letters of support.
Excuse me there, that's a real expensive, isn't it? I mean, you could throw overtime into the calculation for retirement.
On age bill 22. Yeah.
And how many of the boroughs are behind with the PERS in it, as I understand it now anyway? The state retirement, they're way under actual.
33 municipalities are not current on paying the current PERS money,
So it's going to really,
including Juneau, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
it's going to be a real, isn't that what's caused a lot of these states to go bankrupt, whether it's California or?
I don't know.
Just retirement of public employees, I understand.
Carol?
Yes.
One of the things that I'm noticing on there, I'm seeing several letters of support. I'm not seeing any letters of opposition. And I know that they do have, when you do send letters of opposition, that's on that too, and that's very disconcerting. That should be a standout to everybody. This is, if you don't like this, you better start writing, because they've already done their public testimony on this one committee, and so you need, if you're gonna oppose this baby, You better start writing. Because just look at that, there's a lot of letters of support for it. That's not good.
Which committee is it in? I'm trying to look right now. It's State Affairs. So what you can do then is go to committees, and this is in the House, right? So find State Affairs. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Click on that. Here's the chair and vice chair and the members, and you can click on each one to go to their page and get their email address, and then you can send them all an email. Or you can send it to house.state.affairs@AKLeg.gov, and it's supposed to go to each one of them. So that's the group email. Okay. Back here for just a second, because I didn't really cover it. The subject summary, if I want to look up how many bills or different bills that are on different topics, I can do that here on the subject summary.
There is, you're in the House, aren't you? Are you in?
No, I'm on bills and laws.
Okay.
And these are all the bills and laws that have been introduced. Here's 22 on crimes, 8 on energy, 1 on abortion. That surprises me that there's only 1.
Do we know if that's good or bad? No?
That's bad. That's HB 17, most likely.
No, it's SJR 2.
Oh.
Oh, it's Senator Hughes's.
Yeah. It's a constitutional amendment, abortion funding, probably to forbid the state from paying for it. It would be my guess. I mean, I haven't read it, but
It's the same one as last year, and it's last year's SJR4, just rehashed, recycled.
Okay.
No constitutional right to abortion or abortion funding.
yeah,
And so,
right here.
Carol, you may, I'm sorry, we'll probably, I know you're very organized.
Yeah.
And you probably whatever.
It's okay.
I keep interrupting you and that kind of thing, but you might, if you have someplace where you're gonna talk about, this is a Senate joint resolution, which is different than a bill. This will not become law, it's only a recommendation, so I don't know if you
Right.
have something you want.
Because it's a
want to-
constitutional amendment.
Right,
I wasn't going to go into a lot of depth on that. I was just going to show mostly how to do the research.
okay.
Because that's what people ask me the most is how do I find this or how do I find that? All right, so, and back over to committees. There's standing committees. These are just the regular ones. There's some special committees, other committees, and then at the end, there's often joint committees, and you really want to look at those. Finance subcommittees. And you just click on each one and you can see who the members are and see what bills are in there or whatever. Let's see. Here's the members. Here's a list of their meetings. Here's some videos of some of their meetings already. And you can watch the committee meeting. They're very interesting. Looks like it says no bill referrals.
Somebody's snickering when she said it's very interesting.
It is. It was funny because when I first became a district chair, which I just volunteered is all I did, and the current chair just really wanted out, but nobody else would do it. So when I volunteered, he was ready to hug me, I think. And little did I know, I did not know what I was getting into. But as soon as I became a chair, somebody from the party contacted me and said, "Your representative is Jim Culver. Would you like to get rid of Jim Culver?" I said, "Yes, would I ever?" Because I knew he was a Democrat who registered as a Republican so he could get elected. So we worked together. He gave me a plan, and it really did help a lot. But I talked to someone in our district who said she didn't really know who he was until she looked up committees he was on and started watching him in committees. And then she figured out where he was coming from. So these committee meetings are really very interesting. When you go look at these members, I'll pick on Kathy a little bit. You can see the committees she's on, if she's chair or vice chair or just a member of different committees, and that's this session. You can go back and see what she was on last year, last couple of years, and before that, and even before that, and even since she started, really. And so you can look, and you can look at videos, whatever. These are bills she has sponsoring or co-sponsoring, means somebody else has sponsored it, but she's co-sponsoring it. This is her voting record. These are the things they voted on so far on the floor. And you can look each one of these up and see their voting record. This was really helpful for me as a district chair because when our legislators run, I like to present facts of this is how they voted on these issues. And so I go here and I look these things up, and I do share that with my district. Yes?
Do you have the ability to print something off like that? You can present to somebody?
Sure. You can print whatever you want here.
Okay.
I would just do a screenshot, or for me, you've got file, should be print in there, print. Which I'm not connected to a printer here, so it's probably not going to work. Yeah.
Basically, you get with a lot.
Yeah, you can. It might come out like 5 pages. You know. Okay.
Is there any place where you could see what the bill is? Some bills, you know, be from Mama Apple Pie in America, but it's basically destroying everything that we believe in constitutionally. But they label it such and such a way.
Right.
So then when you vote and you have a vote against, and it's, you know, then it's all what's going on. And then also the other perspective, it's a means of them justifying, a politician justifying how they voted or whatever.
Right.
And as she was talking earlier, sometimes they'll vote the way that you want them conservatively in the votes that lead up to the election or to the final vote, and then the final vote, then they'll flip and they'll vote and bloat, you know, basically means they voted the wrong way all the way through. But they'll say, I voted right for it, but they're not telling you the vote that counted.
Right.
And Carol, correct me if I'm wrong, this is supposed to be really just facts and figures. So like if on House Bill 22, outside of like what Mike said, you know, if there were some letters in opposition, you could read those, and then the letters in support to get an idea what exactly the bill does. But I don't think they should, or there is any place on this website where there would be a debate regarding it or something like that.
No, you wouldn't see that here.
Except if you listen to the committee meeting, then of course you would hear the different representatives or senators be talking about it. Yeah. But it's supposed to be, you know, nonpartisan. But if there has been letters sent on House Bill 22 and it's not there, then that is a concern.
Okay, I went back a couple of years on a different session, and it's an HB 22, but I wanted to find out, I want to show you how you can see where they voted somewhere. So I'm looking down here, advance to third reading, read the third time, passed, yes, 38, no, 1, excused 1. So I'm going to look on that page and see who voted for it, who voted against it. So here we go. Yeas 38, nays 1, excused 1, absent 0. Here they are. Here are all the yeas. Here's the 1 nay. Here's the 1 excused. And if you want to know why they voted, then you need to look that date up.
Where?
Well, let's look and see where that's the floor session. Well, I'll get to that here, actually. I plan to do that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, we've taken a lot of detours. So let's go back here. I did that, did committees, publications. Publications, okay. The Alaska Constitution, these are just different publications you can look up. So I would look this over, and I'm not going to go into depth because we're going to run a lot out of time. Information offices are in different locations. There's one in Wasilla.
Maybe ask, does anybody not know where the LIO is in Wasilla?
Over behind the train depot.
Okay.
Used to
Go
be.
across the railroad tracks, and you can't turn left there anymore. You have to go up to Susitna and turn left. And
Here it is right here. It has an address.
Yeah, down a couple blocks. It's in the same building where Matsu Central School is now.
And you can actually, here's their email address. If you email them, they will put you on a list, and once a week they will send you a list of meetings and hearings and things that you might be interested in. But you need to email them and ask to be on their list, on their email list. Okay, that was publications. No, information offices. Where am I? Legislative affairs. Oh, let's go to links. Here's the Alaska Congressional Delegation. Here's the Executive Branch, Office of the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Division of Elections, State Employee Directory, PFD, Judicial Branch, Legislative Links, you name it, it's here. So links has a lot of different places where you can get to other things. I did want to cover a few other things. Let's go to Division of Elections. Voters. If you go down to elections and election results, here we go, election results right there. Then you can find out how the elections turned out. Whoops. I don't know why I did that. Voters, elections, election results. Election night reporting results, official election results like 2 weeks later. Voter registration and turnout. I don't know why I went to statistics. Search official election results. Choose your election year. You got to choose a year. I was looking for 2022, but that's okay, we'll do 2020. General election, primary election.
Excuse me, Carol.
Yes.
On that front page, if you go to the right-hand side, it says research, and drop down where it says statistics.
Right.
Right in there, where it says research across there.
Right, we're going to do that here in a minute.
And stats.
Right. There's several things I want to show you there. But under statistics, if you want to get involved, if you're a Republican and you want to get involved in your party, one of the easiest things to do is volunteer to be a precinct leader. You'll need to get a hold of your district chair and volunteer to be a precinct leader. And the way you, let's see here. Report type is what I'm looking for. Here it is. Registration by party and precinct. And I always do the most current one. It says what year. Here's some abbreviations, and you look for R, which is Alaska Republican Party. There's a clown party, I didn't know that. It looks like somebody tried to do Republican Moderate Party, but it dissolved, it didn't work. So, but they did do a moderate party. So there is a moderate party. There's some weird looking parties, but Republican Party is the one I would look for. And then here we go. I did the most recent. Party and precinct from which year? Most recent is 2023.
You gotta select the available report.
Huh?
So if you start over again.
Yeah.
There you go. Choose, get your choice there. And then you're here.
2023.
And then your available reports. There you go.
Oh.
That's what you missed.
I was trying not to download anything. Yeah, there it is. And then you have to look for your district and look for the R column and find your precinct. So Kodiak number 1, if you'll let me go over to R, has 489 people. Well, for every 300 Republicans, you get a precinct leader. So from 1 person to 300, they get 1 precinct leader. From 301 to 600, they get 2. So this one's over 300, so they get 2 precinct leaders in Kodiak, precinct number 1. So if you look up your own, these are your House districts. You look it up by House district. Here's mine. Farnham Loop, Republican 143. So they get, looks like 1. That doesn't look right. Oh, that I'm looking at a different one. That's a precinct. That's 30. So that's how you know how many you get. Sometimes district chairs will say, well, they're just going to get 1. Well, that's not what the party rules say. If you look up in the party rules, you get 1 for every 300 people. I think my precinct has 5 because there's so many people in our precinct. There's so many Republicans. Okay. And if you're a precinct leader, you can sit on your Republican district committee. You have a vote, you have a say, you can participate on your committee. You vote on business, you can propose things, changes to the party, whether it be rules or platform, resolutions, whatever. Okay, let's move on to something else. Let's follow the money for a minute.
Carol, while you're looking for that, is the Democrat and the Libertarian Party set up the same way? Or
I don't know. So that was division of elections, and this is my outline. Let's go to APOC and follow the money for just a minute. Where's number 8? Okay, and these are just different things you can do when you go to APOC. Oh, sorry. And APOC's very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and click and go there. Because you can look there, you can get other information from APOC other than, If you go to their registration reports under campaign disclosure and put in any name, give me a last name of a legislator.
Nothing's coming out there.
Oh,
I mean, you're still on there.
okay.
But go ahead, somebody.
I need the name of a legislator.
Or group, or name of
Last name, Wilson. You must, when you look someone up, you must click on the search sign. You can't just put Wilson and hit your return button. You must click on the search sign or it will not work. So here's David Wilson here, 2022. Over here it says filed, and that's a link. So if you click there, you can go through and you can find people on his campaign committee. Here's address, here's his email. I don't go to the LIO to find David Wilson when we're not in session. I'll go here, either APOC or Division of Elections. Here's his private email that he's been willing to share. Here's his phone number. So you can look this information up in order to contact them personally when they're not in session. Another thing to look at is letter of intent. You can get the same, pretty much the same, but go to campaign disclosure reports to follow the money. And so, search. And then you get to pick, like, I wouldn't pick 2024, but 2022, here's his year-end report. You can click on any of them. Well, let's just do that. And when you scroll down, you'll see that people who donated during that time, people in companies or not companies, but different organizations, PACs, whatever. See, here's some PACs and expenditures. And these are very revealing, often very revealing. So that way you can follow the money.
So can you go back to that page? I was curious as how much money he had left over. Because that'll give you an idea of if he does run again, you know, what kind of money he's going to be starting out with.
2022 filed. You know, I think I clicked on the wrong thing.
Yeah. Go back to campaigns.
I think it was this one.
Yeah. So what does it say?
It's final report.
Yeah, cash on hand or something like that, doesn't it say, or ending balance or something? What does it say there? I can't read it well.
Here's income, there's expenditures. Remaining debt total 0. Expenditure total. Cash on hand 0.
Oh, okay, so he spent all this. Well, let's see, did he put forth any money though for future campaigns? So if you have money left over from a campaign.
Right.
You can put it towards a future campaign, so, and then you
I
would
don't see
end up
any.
with.
The last one he's got here is 2022.
Yeah.
So you could have put it in a code account, right?
In a what?
In a code account.
What was that?
Could have put it in a code account.
Yeah, PO account, yeah, right.
I don't know what that is.
It's an account for future campaigns, so like, then when he files next time, or if he
Right.
files, then he, say there's $5,000 in there from this campaign, then when he has to file a letter of intent, then he can use that $5,000.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's off limits, right, Kim?
How far down?
Keep going, 4 more. There you go.
I've never done this one before. Any name. There may not be, oh. Tammy Wilson. No, 2020, 2021, 2022. I don't see anything for future. Also over here, you know how you get these mailers and it says paid for by, and sometimes there's a name you don't recognize, like some kind of an organization? There are group registrations, and you can look up different groups. If you don't put a group name in there, just hit search, and they'll all show up. And you can scroll through and find out who they are, what they stand for, what their goals are. They give you lots of interesting information. And you can also look up entities, not just groups, but entity registration reports. And just click search, and then you can look at all the entities. You can also look up independent expenditures. Those are the different PACs. Here's one. Report year. Here's some from 2022. Some individual PACs. Here's some groups. A lot of them, evidently. And you can change the page size. That just shows 20. I like to do as many as I can so I can scroll more. Alaska Democratic Party.
Is there anything there on the Alaskans for Better Elections?
Do you see anything? You know, it's in alpha order. Yeah.
That's right. That's fine.
Okay. I wanted to, let's see, 1630 fund. I wanted to search this one because it's oh. I don't know. Search expenditures. Independent expenditures. I would probably have to go a number of pages over, and I don't know if I want to do that.
Anybody know that, Kim, do you know, like, Kim, do you know, like, if she's looking for the 1630 group, would, you know, could we just be the numerical numbers, or would it be written out?
The number 16, we'll try that. I think it's written out.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, they're in alpha order, and you can scroll over by page and find all kinds of interesting stuff in there. The reason I looked in some of these is because some of these are very liberal, and then you start searching them, and it's like, Kathy Giesel, she's a Republican. What's she doing in there, you know? So that's why I said follow the money. And APOC, you need to make friends with APOC. That's a good question. I have no idea.
Who contributed the most money against ballot measures? That would be 22 a year.
That would take a whole lot of time to try and figure that one out. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
I saw that $1.5 million given by 1630.
Well,
750,000.
right here?
I just wonder if you're filtering, can you give it by the most given?
It says complete, not amended, all completed forms, non-amended only. You can choose, you can filter it. Filed after or before certain dates.
Not by amount.
Registered group. Let's try that. Oh. Yeah, I like to sometimes go through and look at the amounts and then see what they're up to. That's a good point. So you could really spend a lot of time in here.
That's a pretty nice number there, that $78,000.
It is.
Well, it's a 2.3 million.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
There's your better elections, the strong
Is that the better
Alaska.
elections, a stronger Alaska?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It's a stronger Alaska.
So can you look the wrong levels?
Which one?
It's 2,300,000.
2 million.
Right there. There's one more down. There.
This one? Okay, we'll go over here and click on filed. Here's the submission date. Here they are.
So was that Mitch McConnell's money going to Murkowski? Is that
No,
his cat?
Murkowski won't be in here. That would be the FEC. We'll get to that in a minute. But it's still outside money. Recipient, Republican Governors Association.
That's a refund.
Yeah. Sometimes these groups will, their mission is to support a candidate. Sometimes their mission is to attack a candidate. So you have to read carefully in there.
So does that mean that none of them got money?
Some kind of a refund. Or maybe he refunded it to them, I don't know. It says expenditures from that group.
So the Republican, recipient, he sent the money to the Republican Governors Association, it looks like. Isn't that what you guys have interpreted? That's a recipient. Really, you have to look at it.
I don't know. In DC. To me, it looks like if it's an expenditure, they spent this money and that's what they spent it on.
Or against?
But it says contribution refund. That's what I'm confused about.
It's Ukrainian money going back through the
I doubt it.
I don't know, the big guy is 10%, so 121 billion is a lot better than that.
Search contributions. one thing I looked at was search contributions, and I looked at AFL-CIO. And then look at the names. Kathy Giesel contributed to the AFL-CIO. Oh, she's an officer on the AFL-CIO. It says officers. Isn't that interesting? Bryce Edgman, well, that one's not so surprising.
Co-chair, deputy treasurer.
Coghill, yeah. So it's nice to look these up during campaign time, isn't it?
Is that Kelly, the one that also ran on the campaigns?
Alex Kelly,
Is that the same one?
deputy treasurer. All deputy treasurer means is those people are allowed to collect money for the AFL-CIO.
And you get down a little further, you see Ship Creek.
And here's some of their that's expenditures. Yeah, you can see how some of these groups are related to each other. You need to look at those paid for by at the bottom of flyers you get in the mail and look them up. Okay. All right, to do, that's APOC, that's state elections, state and local elections. If you want to look up federal, you go to the FEC. And you can, that's for, yeah, Murkowski, Palin, Begich, Peltola. You can look that up here. Look up their stuff there. You search all campaign, let me see if I can get there. It's the federal version of Follow the Money, basically. This one's a little more difficult to navigate. Right here, search all campaign financial data. So I would click there, and then look up candidate and committee profiles right here. So you put in their last names. Oh, which one do you want me to put in? Peltola, okay. And then when you get there, you click on, where is it? Let me go back one. You look up the candidate, and then you browse receipts. Got to find where it says browse receipts.
One more. There you go.
So I'm going to click on her name, and if you want to see the individual names, that's where you browse receipts. Browse receipts right there. Here's their names. Yes, and the states. Act Blue, that's not surprising. Act Blue raises money for progressives. So if you see Act Blue next to a politician, they're very liberal. Win Red is the Republican version of trying to raise money for the conservatives, or for Republicans, I won't necessarily say, because it's more than conservatives. Anyone that's a Republican can do Win Red, whether they're conservative or moderate or whatever. Okay, so that's FEC. Another place I like to go to do research is KTOO. And in particular, they have a gavel site that is just incredible. Okay, for Gavel, Alaska. Today, they do have all the committees here, but they also have floor sessions. So here's the House floor session that happened today. And you can watch as much as you want. You can watch, I'm going to just fast forward to a certain spot. And if you go down here, you can start at, and wherever I happen to be, it'll start at that time, and then you can go over and record however much you want and stop at there. And then it'll give you a direct link to what you just recorded, and you can go and just have that segment and post it. Yeah. And if I go back here, they also have an embedded link. Well, an embedded link, you kind of have to be a webmaster to know how to do that. But if you're a techie person, you can get embedded links there as well. Right down here is the embed link. It's hard to do and it's too complicated to explain, but here's one I want. Here's one that I did. House Judiciary Committee. And there was public testimony here that I wanted to record, which isn't going to come up on here very well at all, because I didn't set my computer up to share the volume. But this was House Bill 3, or HJR 3, Concealed Handgun Reciprocity between states, meaning if you have a permit in Alaska and you go to another state, you don't have to require, if they allow permits, you don't have to file for one there. You can just bring your Alaska one with you so that it's reciprocal. And this is one that they wanted to send out federally and have it approved federally. So it's a it's a resolution basically. And so if you want to know the details, you can look that one up. And it's on the House Judiciary Committee. And the link is on here. And I'm going to give you the link to this outline so you can go back and look later if you want. Communicating with politicians. Okay, you can contact them through their legislative website. That's the best thing during session. And do an official email. I think those are monitored to some extent where they really are required to respond to you. And then, of course, in between session, I look at both APOC and Division of Elections. Sometimes I can find them in one place, but not the other. If you go to in Division of Elections, if you look under voters and go to elections, they'll say primary or general, and they'll have a list of candidates. You can click on them and get their contact information. I recommend sticking to issues rather than personal attacks. Otherwise, they don't want to hear what you have to say. I was listening to one committee where someone came on there and started yelling and calling them morons and just going off. And so they said, well, if you can't be polite, we're going to have to just disconnect you, which they did.
Hey, Carol?
Yes.
The system you were talking about to contact them directly, I found out last year that system's antiquated and they don't use it anymore because I kept trying to contact them through that. And I spoke with them directly. They do not use that system. You're best to email or do a phone call to them anymore.
Okay, are you talking about the legislative website?
Yeah, where you can contact them through that. I mean, their email's on it and you can use their email, but there's a specific system that it was like the legislative emails directory system. I thought you just mentioned it. It comes up as like an antiquated system anyway when you do pull it up.
All right, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just need to go back and find it.
Just when you make sure, when you do contact them, use their emails or their phone numbers. Don't try to, because there's another place in there where you can try to contact them and it will not work.
So
You'll never get it.
you're talking about here and here. But the interim contact, that's where you have, that never works for me. The interim contact, because that's the LIO office. And they may not update it. All right. All right. Yes. I am. All right. I recommend signing up for the Region 2 newsletter. CJ, could you stand up? CJ's just started putting those out. She's in the booth back there. If you would, there's actually a link right here that goes to, if you click on this link, it goes to the page where you can sign up, or you can talk to CJ. She has an ongoing list, and you can sign up. There are petitions. Stand up if you have one of these petitions to repeal the ranked choice voting. John Miller, you have one. If you could stand so people can see you.
There's 3 or 4 people with them.
Okay. Ron Johnson has one. John Miller.
Sherry has one. Where's she at?
Don't leave without signing it.
Yes, please sign it. Several Facebook pages. This is, anyway, last page. I put my email address. If you're welcome to email me anytime. And then if you want to download this particular presentation, it'll download as a PDF. And here's the address that you can download. Any questions?
Anybody have any?
You guys asked your questions while we were, yeah.
Anybody have any questions they thought about? Okay. Well, let's give Carol a hand for coming. Go ahead.
Can you make that larger so
This one, yes.
And we should be getting a mic here too for running around and
Is that it?
So I'll give you a minute for her to get that up and you can take some.
How's that? Is that better?
Is that okay? Can you?
Yeah, take a picture.
Take a picture. Everybody can take a picture.
And those are blanks between school, of, and gov. Those are just blanks. And it just downloads, like I said, as a PDF. Mine just downloaded. Anything that's in blue is a link.
Okay, any last minute questions? Okay.
CJ?
Can we add that to the school government Facebook page?
Sure.
The link so that we can get it from there?
So I know some people, let's see, CJ, were you able to get lease loans? Okay.
I have to
So,
remove that though, so I was waiting until everybody gets it.
okay. Okay. Let Carol get off of there, and then Kathy, if you want to stand at, well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Linda.
I just want to say thank you so much. This looks like a place that I need. The education, I can truly, it has everything I need, so it's just a matter of sitting down and doing it. So thank you so, so much.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
It can suck you in and you just spend day and night on it. Trust me, I know that one.
Okay, Kathy, I think CJ's going to put up the announcement, so if you'll raise your hand, she'll bring you the mic so you can talk. I think, like all of you, we're all very concerned with what's going on in Anchorage, and I know we have encouraged you guys to pray for Anchorage and what's going on, but there is 7 seats up on the assembly in Anchorage, and there are some of the seats that do have conservatives.
And so CJ, I think, is going to put up on this Friday night from 4 until 7 at the Colony Inn in Palmer, which is right next to the Borough Building. And Kathy, do you want to go ahead and say Lee Sloan? I think many of you know her. She lived out here in the valley, and I think she went to Northgate when she was out here, maybe some other churches. But Kathy is one of the co-hosts, and I'm one of the co-hosts. But go ahead, Kathy.
Well, I think Edna covered it well. Everyone's welcome. It's just drop in and support her. She's running for English Assembly, and I think it's critical that we get some wholesome, family-centered, conservative people from that political entity. Thank you.
Who's the candidate?
The candidate is Lee, L-E-I-G-H, Sloan, S-L-O-A-N. She has Brave Nation in Anchorage. When we first started a couple years ago, she came out to a few, and she wanted to do something in Anchorage, but she went more on the conference and quarterly meeting type things than the format that we're using. But she's helped on, I think her husband ran, what, 4 years ago for one of the state house seats, and
she's been a chair in the Republican Party too, a district chair.
Okay, all right.
And what about school district? Are they up for?
I'm sorry, what?
Is any school district seats up?
Wait till we get the mic to you. Oh, all right, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'll get the mic to you, Mike. However, on Thursday, the 16th of March, coming up in Anchorage, there's a candidate forum. We have 8 candidates, 1 school board, and 7 assembly members. There are even some incumbents on the blue side there. So make it spicy. I invite you to the AMAC meeting on Thursday, the third Thursday, the 16th of March at 7 p.m. The last meeting we had there was attended by 400 people. So people will come to this if you do. So it's at the Wellspring facility, Lake Otis, and we'll leave it there.
Okay, great, good, thank you. Okay, just a minute, Mike, she's going to give you the mic.
CCAK, Concerned Conservatives of Alaska. We're going to be meeting the 18th of March here at 11 a.m. Bethany Markham is going to be the guest speaker. And I've been, as you all know, I've been kind of out of the saddle for the last month because losing my wife. But my foot's never been out of the stirrup. And I'm getting back in the saddle, so come on down. We're going to have a good time with it. I think Kathy, Bethany is the real deal. She's good people. And then I want to try. What I want to do at every meeting is after the guest speakers, I want to talk about a section of the state constitution and going over what that actually says and some of the history behind it, so that people understand what the Constitution actually says versus what people think it says. So, but that's the 18th at 11 o'clock here.
Okay. And for those that don't know, Bethany, years ago when the governor was in the Senate, she was one of his aides, and she's recently served on the statewide redistricting map for the state of Alaska. And she is the head of the Alaska Policy Forum, which is a conservative think tank for the state of Alaska. So, okay. So go ahead, Jen.
All right, for our petitioners mostly, if you have the booklet, some of you had them with you, some of you don't tonight. In addition to this, I did speak to Mr. Art Mateus, the founder, and I believe of Wellsprings Church there in Anchorage. For the notary public, if you have any questions on that, I can answer some of that. There are some listings here, but you can also get it notarized at the Wellspring Church. I have dates and times that you can do that. And then also at Art Mateus's office there in Anchorage. He's on 3900 Arctic Boulevard in Anchorage at State Farm Insurance Company. So, and if you have any more questions, I can forward my information to Nina DeVries, and she can share that with you.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Jackie, there you are. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Jackie Goforth, and I wrote the article on the Alaska Watchman about the secret groups that are infiltrating the valley and trying to change it, trying to erase history. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, there is a city council meeting in Palmer. The museum contract will be on the agenda, and I believe the museum directors will also be there. Politadick has said he will also carry it live, so if anybody wants to watch it. There is a chance when you speak at Palmer for you to speak twice. You get to speak in the middle of the meeting, and then you get to speak at the end too. So I'm going to touch on that, but I'm also going to touch on the library issue. The people who think they're controlling Palmer now think they can combine the museum and Palmer into a new building. We have documentation of that. And the library, if you didn't know, is carrying some very pornographic items for children. It is. And I'm going to be announcing who the procurers of that were, and I'm going to be naming them tomorrow because we have that too. Okay, this is really getting to be a bit much. They're infiltrating Palmer, and they're trying to change the whole thing because it's got such a small voter base before they can bring it out into the valley. So that, I believe, is what is happening. And if you read the article, it's about how the left wing is trying to change the history of Palmer. It came out the 23rd with all the documentation on it. So if you can't be there in person, you can write. There's a contact thing on palmerak.org. You can write to the 7 city council members, but you can only write 3 of them per hour. So if you write your 3, you might want to copy it and keep it pasted so that an hour later you can write the next 3. And then an hour later, the final one. Their phone numbers are on there also, and you can also watch it live. So thank you.
Where's the meeting at?
At Palmer City Hall.
Oh, City Hall.
Yeah, in Palmer. And the meeting starts at 6, I believe. Right, yeah.
Hi, I'm Pat from Alaska Right to Life. There's a couple little red flyers on the back table that you'll want to take home with you. They've got a QR code on them. The first one's talking about SB 43. We took a quick look at that there on the screen when Carol was presenting. SB 43 is being presented by L.B. Gray Jackson, Loki Tobin, and Forrest Dunbar, and they call it some kind of personal safety education bill, and what it really is. I think, Carol, you mentioned that there's a way that they disguise bills to make them look real innocuous, but they're demonic in actuality. That would be this would be one of those bills. So it's mandatory K through 12 sex ed with no opt-out provision whatsoever. And when you look at who's behind the bill, obviously Planned Parenthood is behind the bill, and Planned Parenthood is invited to give testimony in support of the bill. But then you see that Planned Parenthood has some little subordinates that come along with them, with Teen Council, which is their teen sex activist group that works in the schools, and they actually work to teach kids about sex as kids. Anyhow, some things you're glad that you don't get it, right? There's an organization called the Scion or something like that. You can actually see it when you follow the scan. And that one is Sex Ed for Social Change is what they're all about. And when you read into it, and you don't have to read very far to see that this one's demonic as well. And then, of course, you've got all the homosexual agendas, you've got all the gender destruction agendas. All of this is built in there, and abortion marketing is built into all of this. And when we look at how the Senate's made up this year, you could actually come to the conclusion that this bill will pass out at the Senate. It's in the Education Committee this week, and they have the votes in the Education Committee to pass this bill without a problem whatsoever. Then it goes to Health and Social Services Committee. That's chaired by David Wilson, and you don't have a lot of good on that committee either. So when I score that one, it stands a strong chance of passing out of that committee. When you consider the binding caucus rules that the Senate's operating under, and they didn't tell us everything, but they did make it one thing clear, that nothing would go through the Senate, nothing would be heard, nothing would be voted on unless they already approved of it. So the likelihood that they have the votes for this bill in the Senate is really, really strong. And then we see the House is in complete disarray. So what comes out of the House, who knows? But this thing is really horrible. So Wednesday at 3:30, they're having a committee hearing, and I've got all the information for you to call in and testify. They're taking public testimony. And the obvious answer is not just no, but hell no. This is literally demonic. When you follow the QR code on the sheet on the table, it'll take you to just a real basic outline of what the bill is, who's behind it. You can read the text of the bill, so on and so forth. And it is really absolutely positively horrible. And one of the key components of this bill is it actually removes the parents' consent from the whole process 100%. So it's really bad. So please take those with you. Please spread that around. Share it on Facebook. If you know anything about the abortion debate on social media, you know that I can post and 3 people will see it, even though I've got thousands of followers. But if I pay, then they'll spread my message, right? So they throttle us pretty hard. So if you guys grab that and share it, that'd be fantastic. On another issue, there's another flyer back there, and the other flyer is labeled "The Abortion Lobby Explodes," and it has a picture of Representative Andrew Gray with his rainbow head exploding. He is a Planned Parenthood endorsed and funded representative from Anchorage, and he's the one that's behind the censuring of David Eastman last week. So if you guys are following that, you're probably not getting all the details. If you're not following it, the basic gist of what happened is last Monday, there's a Judiciary Committee hearing, and in that committee hearing, there's an organization called the Alaska Children's Trust. And this is an organization that is supposedly all about preventing child abuse. And in this presentation, they actually go into how they monetize the economic value of children from birth until death. And they figure that a healthy child has about a $1.5 million economic value to society through productivity and taxes. And any type of injury, whether it be divorce of parents or child abuse or injury or trauma, that reduces the economic value of that little production unit, child. And they're actually presenting this very socialistic, humanistic approach to a financial value on children instead of the intrinsic value that God has placed on them as little image bearers of their Creator and as gifts from God to their parents, not to the state. Within the abortion conversation, these things come up often. If you come visit my fair booth for 30 minutes, you'll have an abortion proponent come in and debate us on the merits of abortion. And when all of their bad arguments are realized to be bad, they'll finally slip back on that one that they almost always go to. Well, don't you think that it would be better for that child to die in abortion than for him to be born into bad circumstances, abuse, criminality, and jail, and become a blight and a cost on society? They make these arguments regularly. I got a voicemail from a guy in Alabama calling about this issue on Thursday, and he made that exact argument on the voicemail. So Eastman brought up the hypocrisy of these organizations and Planned Parenthood, of course, in their opposition to child abuse and their economic valuation of children. But if the child's still in the womb, no economic value, no social value, no real value. They're better off dead. The Alaska Children's Trust is in partnership with Planned Parenthood. They share board members, they share staff, they share friends, they share allies. And when Eastman's questioning with the Alaska Children's Trust representatives got them to display their hypocrisy on valuing children born, but devaluing children not yet born, the abortion lobby lost their ever-loving minds. And Andrew Gray was sitting next to Eastman the whole time. He was supposed to speak right after Eastman, and he had so lost control that he couldn't. He actually had to pass and let somebody else speak. And if you watch, when you click the little QR code on the sheet, I've got Andrew Gray's video of his censuring, resolution on the House floor. That guy could barely maintain control of himself. He's spitting all over the place, he's yelling, he is really angry, it's a really horrible presentation, and he's actually, well, you guys need to watch it. Second to last part, and thank you for the grace and letting me go along. Eastman's family's been getting death threats over this. Not just one, not just two, but a lot. Eastman's getting death threats. The harassment's real, the death threats, well, how do you know they're real, right? But if you're a wife with 4 kids and your husband's, 1,000 miles away, every death threat's real, right? This is what's happening as a result of this, okay? And of course, Eastman was censured on the floor last week. And the last part of this, and this is one that we should all take home, and we really need to talk to our elected representatives about this. There's 12 Planned Parenthood endorsed representatives in the House. There's 19 pro-life organization endorsed representatives in the House. How is it that when you look at the vote board, it was a 35-1 vote to censure Eastman? It wasn't a 39-1 vote simply because a couple people were absent, right? But that means that every Republican present in the House last Wednesday, think about this, joined the abortion lobby in voting to protect the abortion lobby from the exposure of their hypocrisy and their murderous ways. What happened to our elected representatives here in the Valley?
I disagree with that.
I disagree.
But listen, y'all can disagree about it, but what happened? And A, we have a right to ask, and B, they have a responsibility to explain it.
Alrighty, Candy has an announcement.
If you haven't seen the Jesus Revolution movie, it's at the Wasilla Cinema until, I think it's through March 2nd. And it is really, really good. Let's see, also I wanted to say John was in California during that time. So if you have any questions for him, and anyway.
John, you're gonna get him to give up, stand up and give your testimony.
Karen said she was in California then too.
So who was playing, was there an actor playing you there in the movie that we need to watch out for or something? Okay, any other announcements? Any other announcements? Okay. So for 2 weeks from now, on the 13th of March, we are going to be discussing the carbon tax bills that the governor has introduced. We do have people signed up for the anti. I reached out to Todd Smolden. He's thinking it over. I told him we would, because we'd like to have both sides presented. And so he was going to reach out also to the Department of Natural Resources to see if they could get 1 or 2 people here. So you'll be seeing more of that too. Yeah, Lloyd, let's see, where's the mic at?
I'll grab yours.
Okay.
I wasn't going to say anything, but because you brought this up concerning the carbon tax situation, if any of y'all like to make a little venture to the north, up at Sheep Creek Lodge, Monday night, a week from tonight, we had to cancel because the roads were so bad up there before. But at 7 o'clock at Sheep Creek Lodge, we're going to have a person who's going to come and speak about it. He's not favorable toward it. He was a multi-million-dollar business operator and everything else, and so he's one of these people that does all the research and numbers and you know, live way down in the minutia. But he has that ability. He's been studying it for years, and so therefore he's got a lot of understanding in relation to it. And so he's going to be speaking in relation to the carbon tax credit. 7 o'clock at the Sheep Creek Lodge.
And the date again?
And it'll be 1 week from tonight.
1 week from tonight.
Monday night.
Monday night, okay.
March 6th.
Anybody else have anything? Naomi, before you leave, I would like to talk to you. Okay. All right, if you'll stand, please. We'll do a closing prayer. So today when I was doing my Bible study, I came across this prayer, and as you know, mostly I do pray for all of you guys. So anyway, this is found in a probably very familiar to you. Colossians 1, starting at verse 9, and this is in the Modern English Version. I don't know why I don't have King James. I love King James, but anyway, you'll have to forgive me. And so this is Paul writing to the church at Corinthians, and we will not, Colossians, I'm sorry. So we have not stopped praying for you since we first heard about you. We ask God to give you complete knowledge of His will and to give you spiritual understanding and wisdom, that the way you live, you will always honor and please the Lord, and your lives will produce every kind of good fruit. And all the while you will grow as you learn to know God better and better. So that's our prayer for you tonight. So enjoy. Thank you all for coming. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right, thank you guys all for being here tonight. It is greatly appreciated. And as always, please like and share. You can always find this replayed again on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, all at Politadick, including Rumble in the next 6 hours. You can always watch it when we are live on our website at Politadick.gov. And while you're there, please go to our support page. All proceeds go right back into making sure we have the money to be able to make more events like this one. Tomorrow night, we plan on being at the Palmer City Council, which starts at 6 o'clock. They've got lots of issues that are going to be brought up onto the table there, like the language saying that we Alaskans took over and succeeded the lands of the natives, and the language that is being used there. And they're also planning on addressing the public school system and the library system that we have, and the pornographic books that they are allowing our children to now check out in school. So stay tuned tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Please like, share this video, let all your friends know how to navigate the AKLeg.gov's website for all of your needs to be able to make it today and tomorrow through the political process that we call Juneau Swamp of Alaska. Thanks again for being here tonight. And don't forget, like and share.